Om Namah Shivaya. Vasudeva Sutam Deva Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat. I am presenting my paper of on In Search of Historicity of Mahabharata. Namaste to all distinguished guests and the great gathering. My presentation is on In Search of Historicity of Mahabharata. I feel very privileged to present on this that's in Waves Conference, and I'm very humble to present in front of great personalities like J.A.J and so many others. So first of all, the glory of the Mahabharata. Mahabharata is the world's biggest epic. Scholars have described it as a Parijata tree. Parijata tree has so many benefits to human beings, right from giving peace to inviting Goddess Lakshmi into home. Like Parijata tree, the Mahabharata also has so many benefits for mankind. Dharme cha arthe cha mokshe cha kame cha bharatashabha. Yadi hasti tadanyatra yanne hasti natat kvachit. Everything in the meaning of these two lines, this sloka is everything in the world is present in Mahabharata, and there is nothing in the world which is not in Mahabharata. It was composed by great sage Vedavyasa at the starting of epoch Kali, and it took 3 years for him for this composition. Sage Vedavyasa scripted the Mahabharata orally and taught his disciples insight. The very first form of Mahabharata was called Jaya. Vaishampayana, son of Vedavyasa, added many elucidations and clarifications to make it better understandable to Janamejaya. Now Vyasa's Jaya became Bharata. Maharshi Suta expanded it further into Mahabharata by adding more illustrations accordingly, while explaining it to other sages such as Shaunaka. Importance of the Mahabharata. Janamejaya was supposedly the first person to hear the Mahabharata. He is the third generation king after Yudhishthira. This was supposed to be evolved as Mahabharata by 3rd BC. Before Jayakavya itself, Sanatana Dharma, which is based on worship of nature deities and which is replete with Vedic literature comprising Vedas, Upanishads, Brahmanas, Puranas, etc., faced many new challenges due to the continuous invasions of barbarians. People started getting doubts on deities of nature like Surya, Varuna, Agni, etc., because there was a decline in performing sacrifices. In the place of worship of deities of nature, there was a surge in devotion towards gods like Vishnu, Rudra, Devi, etc., and spread their own branches. Thereafter, religions like Jaina and Bauddha spread the whole country. Eminent kings and emperors like Ashoka embraced Buddhism and contributed for the dissemination of these religions. Importance of the Mahabharata. So, scholars like Professor G.V. Subramaniam are of the opinion that due to the influence of these religions, the whole institution of 4 Varnashramas and the methods of sacrifices started decaying. Grihastha got badly affected as these institutions on Vaidika Dharma got liquidated. There was a rise in the respect of monks in the society. Monkhood metamorphosed into religion instead of one of the 4 ashrama dharmas. That would be dangerous to the society when people accept monkhood or ascetic life without mental preparedness and maturity. And such persons can't do justice to the saint life and spoil the system. Grihastha is the cornerstone of Vaidika Dharma. There was a need to reconstruct our social and family system at the time. Hence, Vedavyasa's disciples used Jaya Kavya as a strong weapon to spread Vaidika Dharma. They have pumped the whole essence of Vedas, Upanishads, Brahmanas, and Puranas into this Itihasa and made it into Mahabharata, comprising 1 lakh shlokas. So, why timeline of my Mahabharata war is important? So, Mahabharata is itihasa, which means history. Itihasaha. Itihasaha is the derivation of word itihasa, which means that's what happened. In our country, Ramayana and Mahabharata are two itihasas, which are seeped into our culture and became part of our life. According to the evidence available in our epics and Puranas, the date of Mahabharata war is 36 years before the commencement of Kali Yuga. The great historian Sri Kota Venkatachalam, hailing from Vijayawada of present Andhra Pradesh, was a great Sanskrit and Andhra scholar, Telugu scholar, and who published the original evidence-based research work entitled Ancient History and Chronology of Bharata. Says that for the Western Orientalists, Indian history had to fit within the biblical timeline. William Jones, William Jones, in consultation with the Warren Hastings. Okay. Sorry, thank you. William Jones, in consultation with Warren Hastings, the then Governor General of India, began doctoring dates to fit within this time frame and rejected everything before the Kali Yuga as fictional. The only event that connected the West with the East was Alexander's sojourn to the East. Jones had to connect Alexander to some event in India, so he and others did the following. Discarded Indian texts as fictional and unreliable, relied on vague accounts of foreign travelers like Megasthenes, Fahian, Huanxiang. And third one is decided that Xandrums, Sandracotus, and Sandrosiptus from Megasthenes Indica were referring to Mahapadmananda, Chandragupta, and Bindusara of the Maurya dynasty, even though they were clearly referring to Chandramas, Chandragupta, and Samudragupta of Gupta dynasty. Means they were referring to the wrong people. Doctor coins to falsify history and use these as confirmatory sources of dates, tampered with some inscriptions like I hold, while ignoring others, tampered with Kalhana's Rajatarangini and other books, declared Raja Vikramaditya of Ujjain and Shalivahana were fictional characters and removed the dynasty of Agnivamsha. Agnivamsha is supposedly be the Pallava's kingdom from 101 BCE to 1193 CE, that is 1300 years, to make the timeline fit within the Western biblical constraints. Evidences in Aryabhatiyam. So we have evidences of Mahabharata war in Aryabhatiyam also. That is, in Aryabhatiyam, Aryabhata 1 stated that Kali Yuga or the fourth Yuga Pada commenced from the Prabhava Samvatsara before Bharata, that is Kurukshetra war. Aryabhata 1 observed that the time elapsed before the beginning of Bharata, that is Mahabharata war, 6 Manus and 27 3 by 4th Yugas of this Kalpa. So the shloka which is written in the Aryabhatiyam by Aryabhata 1 is Kalpade Yuga Pada Gacha Guru Divasacha Bharatat Purvam. This is 5th shloka of Geetika of Aryabhatiyam. Deciding the time, that is what the reference in Aryabhatiyam about Mahabharata by Aryabhata 1. Deciding the time of Mahabharata war is the cornerstone of Indian chronology, whether it is the time of Buddha or time of Kalidasa. So the importance of deciding the time of Mahabharata war is these are all events like Kalidasa's time and other personalities' time like Buddha is dependent on the timeline of Mahabharata. That's what there is. But thousands of years ago, one more thing is, as far as reckoning of the time is concerned, we have divided it into Kalpa, Manu, Shaka, etc. Western scholars who don't have any awareness of our methods of reckoning of time try to measure Mahabharata in their own Mahabharata timeline, whatever, Mahabharata war, in their own methods. But thousands of years ago, we in Jambu Dvipa had a perfect method of reckoning of time. It got disturbed under British rule. There can be no other proof for Mahabharata war than the Mahabharata itself and other Puranas themselves. Veda Vyasa, who had witnessed the war and other events, had compiled them in the form of epic. Internal evidences, that is, the evidence of Mahabharata war. For the evidences of Mahabharata war are there in Mahabharata itself. That is the internal, we can say those are internal evidences. After the 18 days of Kurukshetra war in Shamanta Panchaka, all the ladies of royal families of 100 Kaurava brothers and mother of Kauravas, Gandhari, have arrived at the battlefield and were lamenting. Gandhari, who was overwhelmed by the grief at the loss of all her 100 sons, and in the fit of uncontrollable anger, cursed Sri Krishna in the following terms. In the 25th chapter, dealing with Gandhari's curse at Sri Parva of the Mahabharata, in the following verses. Esmat parasparam ghyanto ज्ञातयः कुरु पांडवाः उपेक्षितास्ते गोविंदा तस्मात् ज्ञाति badhishyasi. In such a way, in these slokas, sage Vyadavyasa, Vedavyasa says that how she cursed even Madhusudana, Sri Krishna, for conducting for the conduction of Mahabharata and for the all the incidents, she made him responsible. So that is the gist of this. I'm going to read this gist of these shlokas. O Madhusudana, you have looked on unperturbed while Pandavas and Kauravas, who were cousins, fought among themselves and perished. So you will also be the destroyer of your cousins. In the 36th year, that is what she mentioned. 36th year, that is 19 days, after 19 days of, after 19th day of Mahabharata. 36 years and, okay, Mahabharata war. In the 36th year to come, after witnessing helplessly the destruction of all your sons, nobles and cousins, you will be obliged to wander in the forest and be yourself destroyed in an ignoble manner. The Yadava ladies shall grieve as the Bharata ladies are now grieving. So these are the internal evidence of there are many three more internal evidences in Mahabharata itself. Mahabharata Mausala Parva 2 verses 18 to 24. Like this, so many evidences are there in Mahabharata itself, and then after that, evidence according to Saptarshi era is also there. So those people who treat Mahabharata as mere mythology, then we can say that there are many evidences according to all these things, according to Mahabharata itself and Saptarshi era and Aihole inscription. So this is this is what I have about my paper. According to Saptarshi Mandala in historical treatise, the Kali Yuga Raja Vrittanta, history of the kings of the Kali Yuga, it is stated, Yada Yudhishthiro Raja Shakra Praste Pratishtitaha. Like that, so many references and so many evidences are there for Mahabharata war and Mahabharata. When Yudhishthira was crowned king at Indraprastha, the constellation of Great Bear, or the Saptarshi Mandala entered the region of the star Magha in the zodiac. And again, 75 years before the commencement of Kali Yuga, the Great Wave crossed over into Magha in BC 3102 plus 753177, that is equal to 3177. Yudhishthira's reign at Indraprastha therefore started in BC 3177. The 75 of his reign before Kali included 25 years of his suzerainty over the whole of Bharata, which he enjoyed after the performance of the Rajasuya, the 13 years of exile as a consequence of his defeat in the game of dice, 38 years on the whole, and the demand for the restoration of his kingdom as per the terms of the game, and so and so. So inscriptional evidences based in the, okay. So there is eye-hole inscription also. So my conclusion is that Mahabharata war, as we all know, was the greatest war happened ever, and where so many atomic weapons were used and there was a lot of destruction. And many scholars, including Indians, believe that it did not happen because of the poetic way in which sage Vedavyasa described the whole Mahabharata. We feel that it is not, it didn't happen. It was a mere poem. But it did happen, and it was there, it happened 5,000 years ago. So that is my conclusion, and